So here's the third video that I'm going to leave about my mom. And the one fun thing is my mom and vehicles, cars. And just three quick little stories wrapped together. And that is that the first story was when I was a little boy, and my mom was driving the Pontiac back home, and I was at my grandparents' house there on Brigantine, New Jersey, and the driveway was a little funny how it came in. The house would come out and then come back in, just how the house was shaped. So it's kind of like a little point. And just enough. It wasn't big where you had to do like a big bow around it. But it was just enough. So that if you didn't pay attention, you could scrape the car. You know where I'm going with this, right? Brand new Pontiac. Right down the right-hand side, scrape, scrape, scrape. And then back then they had this little trim piece that would go on the side that would help to buffer if someone opened the door against your car. And it had rubber on the outside of it, and then it was nestled or put into a frame of aluminum. And so when you rip that off, you got to get the whole new stretch for the whole side of the car, and they could damage the sheet metal underneath of it. So it's just small but not inconsequential. So she comes in, and obviously people heard the car had made contact with the house. She told me, "Scott, do not tell your father where I'm at when he gets home." And my father was on the way home. And so my mom just wanted, I guess, I don't know. I was, 5 or 6 years old? I was a little kid, right? And so I got given the responsibility of not telling not telling Dad where Mom is. So Dad comes home, and he saw the Pontiac, and then, of course, I'm man in the middle, and he says, "Scott, where's your mother?" Well, this house in Brigantine, New Jersey had a basement on an island, a unique thing to have a basement, but it was on the highest part of the island. Brigantine had a basement that had the main floor and then an upper floor. So my dad asked me, "Where's Mom?" Well, at 5 or 6 years of age, you do a quick calculation and you say, who can hit harder? So when it came to a spanking, either way, in my mind as a small child, it was, either way I'm going to get spanked. Mom's going to spank me because I told Dad where she's at, or Dad's going to spank me because I don't tell Dad where Mom's at. So either way, I'm going to get a spanking. Who hits harder? Dad. She's in the basement. and then Dad boom opens the basement door, boom, 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 and then they had their conversation downstairs. And meanwhile, I'm shaking up there. Oh! But just a funny time, because that story got retold throughout life. And then the theme was, "Yes, Scott, you're always telling on me. You're always telling on me." And you tell Dad or you tell anybody, you're always telling on me. And so it was almost in some ways like I was a little brother, which also reflects how my mom grew up. Right? She had me young, but she was also playing the mother role often for the family of 6. My mom was the oldest of 6. And so she would then be very much a motherly like figure with brothers and sisters. And so when I was born, I kind of probably stepped into that role of something similar, being, a young brother, child. And so I would tell on my mother. And so that's how that I'm guessing how that kind of developed. now having the luxury of being a full-grown adult. And so, Mom, yep, I know you're now in heaven, but your son's still telling on you. And this is going to get loaded up into YouTube, so I'll be telling on you into the years to come. So just a funny little quick story there on how that began. Two other stories of being in the car, which is funny. And later on in South Carolina, Mom and Dad had bought an Ford LTD station wagon, and it was green, right? And had the little wood paneling on the side of the doors. And so that was just a time when, it's a big car. It's a Battleship Galactica. And so Mom was leaving late from the home to go to school. She was a school teacher, and we always went to the same school where she taught. And so there was this railroad tracks, and I believe that was Mitchell Road Presbyterian Church where she taught and where we were headed to school. And so she's driving, and she had some toys that we were going to give away in the backpack. That's what you called, you had the front seat where the driver and passenger or co-driver sat, right? And someone could sit in the middle. Then you had the back seat. There's a bench seat, but then three could sit there. Then you had the backpack. And so it was either flat in the station wagons, or you could pop up the jump seats and you face backwards, and then you could have two seats back there. So it was flat at this time, and we had also some toys that we were going to give away from when we were young back there. One of them was this little schoolhouse with a bell on the top. Ding, 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 like a school bell, right? And so that was sitting in the back. And it was a playhouse, or the little people that you could play with it, and they were also there. And so Mom's driving, and there's this infamous, for us infamous, railroad crossing, and the gates come down. And Mom's already late, and then you hear the warning lights going off. Ding, 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 and the red lights are going, and the gate's going to come down. And so then Mom just does a Dukes of Hazzard. You have to look that up if you're not from the U.S. and don't understand, or you're younger. The Dukes of Hazzard move. She steps on the gas pedal and kind of jumps the railroad tracks. Yeah, that's right. Jumps the railroad tracks in a Ford LTD station wagon, which is like a battleship. It's a heavy vehicle. And in the back, and the back always gets the biggest whiplash, up come the toys, and down they come again. And I think there was even a church in the mix, so you had two little bells. And they're going ding, 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 ding in the back as we clear the railroad tracks, and the gates come down, and right afterwards. And then my mom, Cindy, and I, there are no seatbelts, right? No one's wearing any seatbelts. We're flying as well in the back seat. And then my mom then says, "Will you just shut that damn bell up?" And it was just so funny just to have that moment of jumping the railroad tracks, and then when Mom then was yelling, "Shut that damn bell up." And so what was then interesting is, of course, my sister and I told on my mom when my dad got home. And the last real quickie, Mom took a detour with Cindy, lost control of the same Ford LTD station wagon, went through a barbed wire fence that held cows, and landed in a farmer's field. And so then my mom's calculation was, instead of trying to go out the same way I just came in, I'm just going to keep going across this field, because anyways, the road kind of loops around, and I'll get to the road on the other side. Well, she did that. And the car was covered in mud and grass and, as my dad said, cow shit. And cow poop is different than horse poop. Cow poop's real poop. Real poop. And so it was covered in all of that. And it was parked in the driveway. And then she came home. And Dad and I came out to greet them. And Dad looks at the car. And my mom turns to Cindy, "Don't tell on me." As if there's anything to hide, because it's so evident the car is covered. Oh, so I got the 3 stories in just over 10 minutes, and just thought you would enjoy it. At least I'm reliving the moment, so I sure enjoyed it. And that's the 3rd video in the series. Have a good day, guys.